Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. This would be What If Naruto was the reincarnation of Gabimaru. Gabimaru is from the not recent manga relatively, but recent anime known as Hell's Paradise. Not that far in Hell's Paradise, I think there's like 100 something chapters of it. I'm at like chapter 45. I did drop it briefly because I wanted to finish like catching up on One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen, so I did drop it for that. Now I heard the anime's coming out, I'm like, oh, I better catch back up on it. So yeah, I'm gonna get to like at least 100 today. So yeah. So my knowledge on Gabimaru was a bit skewed. The abilities I did need Google for, but I was able to write down basically what I think his personality stuff is like. So yeah. But the title of the story would be The Ninja Who Found His Purpose to Live, which is what Gabimaru has done. Found his purpose to live. Albeit he did in like 4 or 5 chapters, but still. So, this when Naruto is born, and through all the hatred and scorn he's faced from his village, Naruto would he'd develop a very cold and apathetic personality, not really being emotion-filled. Naruto is basically kind of a walking shell. Naruto wanted to be a shinobi, and when Naruto was around 7 years old, Sasuke would beat him in a sparring match, and Sasuke took it a bit too far this day. It was probably around a month after his clan died. Sasuke took too far and beat Naruto senseless. Iruka had to pull Sasuke off of him, and Naruto got up, not even looking, mad. Most of the girls were cheering for Sasuke, and Ino tried to get in Naruto's face, saying, "That's what you get, Sasuke beat the hell out of you." Everyone in shock, Naruto backhanded Ino to the ground, and walked out of the academy. Now, today some parents were watching Inoichi try to basically run down and grab Naruto, but basically for hitting his daughter. Shikaku grabbed Inoichi by the wrist, flipped him on his back, and held him there, saying, "To be honest, your daughter deserved it. Let him go." Inoichi just scoffed, and allowed Shikaku to hold him to the ground. Not allowed it. Shikaku's the Hokage's advisor. He's really strong. Naruto would leave the academy, and Naruto wouldn't return there for another 6 years. Naruto spent his time training on his own, never really wanting to go back to the academy. He developed his own style of fighting. He developed something that those damn Uchihas couldn't compete with. He hates Sasuke a lot, that's it. He just doesn't like Sasuke. Once out of spite, Naruto would learn how to fight for himself. But when Naruto was around 9-ish years old, he would meet the feudal lord. And with this, the reason he meets him is the feudal lords who are going to Hiruzen because Hiruzen needs to pay something. He sees Naruto having the idea of a Jinchuriki in his possession to make him like having a rare treasure. He drag Naruto off to the state, where Naruto would basically be raised by the guards more than him. And this is where Naruto would fully develop and master his own style of fighting. Naruto, in terms of size, didn't really change too much, but through all of his own stress and mental anguish, his hair did turn white. So yeah. Now, eventually, we go on to Naruto returning to Konoha when he is 13. Took the Genin exam. When he returned, everyone knew who he was off of his face, but his hair had changed a lot. Hair grew out longer, which resulted in it being a bit more curled. Now Sasuke walked up to Naruto, saying, "That ass beating made you stay away from the academy for 6 years? How childish." Only for Sasuke to be punched in the chest so hard that he coughed out blood and held his chest, saying, "He broke a rib." And twitched. Naruto took Iruka before making over 10 shadow clones, saying, "Is that enough?" Iruka nodded, saying, "Doing that jutsu alone gives you a headband. You can go." And Naruto nodded and walked off, saying, "Thank you, Iruka-sensei." As Naruto left, Sasuke was taken to the nurse's office, and the rib was like cracked. The rib didn't go anywhere, it was like a very big line across one of the ribs. It was pretty easily healed by at least three medical shinobi, but they're sure the Naruto's just punched did it that quickly. So, yeah. And from what Sasuke said, he could tell that Naruto was holding back. And then one of the doctors was like, if that kid was holding back and he did damage like this, if he went all out, I think he'd punch a hole clean through you. Which Naruto could easily punch through Sasuke like he's nothing. Remember the physical stats? For strength, I'd put him on par with third gate Lee. It's not that hard to put him that up there. Speed, similar to Orochimaru, and his durability basically has no limit. He's infinitely generating with top of his own power. Like Naruto's hatred for certain people, or basically just for like life itself, reached similar standings to Kurama's hatred for humans. Like Naruto hated living, Kurama hated humans, and those two things of hatred were on the same level. It was very shocking to Kurama that how it could hate something that long, that much. Which would give them somewhat of a sync, where Kurama is able to basically constantly flow chakra through Naruto's body on a low level, which allowed Naruto's Uzumaki and Naruto's healing to basically interact basically constantly. So Naruto relatively never, like, I phrase this. Like, if someone were to stab Naruto, think of it as, like, adult Naruto and Boruto, where he's, like, stabbed by Sasuke, but the wound isn't, like, bleeding because his body's already healed and there's a cloak on himself. He even pulled it out, there's no blood. His shirt's a bit torn up and that's it. It's because kind of what Naruto's body is like. His healing is that fast. So yeah. Through stamina and endurance, one of the beatings he's taken, and from like guards knowing he's a Jinchuriki, his stamina and endurance are basically infinite as well. So, yeah. So going on, we go on basically something being assembled, and Hiruzen says, "Alright, feudal lord, I want to tell you a secret. You tell feudal lord about Naruto being Minato's son." And with this, Naruto kind of granted the right to be in Team 7 now. Which everyone's shocked by the Naruto turning Konoha. But he had proved his superiority over Sasuke with that one punch. So yeah. Now, Sasuke's a bit annoyed at Naruto, because right now it's the next day, but yeah. Actually, there's one thing I want to go over first. Naruto will basically be leaving the Hokage estate, after he's told he's going to join Team 7, and as he's walking, he would see a man jump from Hiruzen's, window. The man has a scroll on his back, and Naruto decides to follow him. As Naruto follows him, they arrive in the woods, where he's met with that man and meets 4 shinobi. With this, as soon as the 4 shinobi have to grab the scroll, Naruto would land, and he then says, Ninpo, Ikari Tsubute, or Thunderstones. As Naruto landed, a ton of gravel was in the air, and Naruto kicked them at the speed of lightning. Mizuki was immediately impaled by all the stones and killed. The Town 4 went into grade 1 curse mark to block a lot of the stones, but their bodies were pretty badly bruised and bloodied. Naruto, with swift movements, was able to punch one of them in the chest so hard that they got sent flying, and the other one, like they say, drove sent flying. Then attack on Ukon to separate, but with a swift kick, Naruto kicked them both in the head before they separated, which took them both down. Jin Kunai, he basically stabbed Kidomaru through his arms, cutting off 3 of his arms. Well, actually, I think he has 4 arms. He cut off 2 Kidomaru's arms, kicked him in the neck, which took him down right there. Was up to Yuya, who tried to use Genjutsu, but due to Naruto's constant influx of Kurama chakra, he's basically immune to Genjutsu at this point. So he then says, Naruto would just say, Kamokubi, or sickle-shaped neck, where he just does a quick roundhouse kick right to her neck, which took her out. As soon as Naruto decided to try to find a shinobi using a clone, Kabuto arrived and fought Naruto briefly. Naruto's pretty well stacked in terms of abilities, but Kabuto would summon Manda, and then he would use basically Manda to reverse summon back to like Ryuji Cave, then leave from there. Now he thought the Town 4 had the scroll, but the scroll was not there at all. In fact, Naruto had it in his hand still. Naruto would basically walk further in the forest, besides deciding to actually read the scroll for a bit, where he would write down all the scrolls are like basically up his arm, and then use a bit of basically just transformation jutsu to hide like his arm, or to hide like the looks of his arm. Then when Naruto was cleared and got home, well, Iruka basically receives the scroll. Well, gets next back to Hiruzen, and they don't think that Naruto read the scroll at all. So yeah, like he probably wouldn't know what it was, so he wouldn't touch it. So yeah. At home, Naruto wrote down all the scrolls jutsus, and so he wants to practice them. One he learned immediately, though, was once he shall clone jutsu, so now he's trying to learn one called the Rasengan. So, yeah. Then Naruto carries 2 weapons with him when he meets Team 7, or reintroduces himself to them. He carries a sword and a sickle. The sword's on his hip, and the sickle is basically on his back. So, yeah, he wears a cloak over his usual shirt. or kind of like you know how Deku has Grand Virgilio's cape as a scarf. Naruto has that, but like longer, so it like goes down to cover like his mid lower back. His sickle's under that. So yeah. All right, so Kakashi came in to meet his team. When he goes in, well, Naruto's minding his business. Actually, he's talking to Sakura a little bit. They don't really get along, but he just kind of asks her what everyone's been up to. Not really checking in on her, but everyone around her. So yeah. So Sakura does give Naruto credit for slapping Ino back then, which Naruto honestly forgot he did, but he does say he owes her an apology later. So yeah. Sasuke tells Naruto, "You owe me an apology for my chest." No, Naruto says, "No, I owe you a hole in your chest. You beat me senseless for no reason. Why shouldn't I kill you for that? There's more than enough reason to kill someone like Itachi Uchiha." When Sasuke just stand up and glare at Naruto, but Naruto held a kunai after Sasuke telling him, "Sit down before I cut your damn head off. I'll see your Sharingan for myself." And Sasuke kind of freeze and sit back down because there's no hint of lies in Naruto's face or in tone. Kakashi walked in after hearing that, told them to go to the roof, and asked their likes, dreams, desires, all that. Naruto's likes, seemingly nothing besides training and ramen. His dislikes, everything besides his 2 likes. His goal, fight enough battles to be known as a legend. His dream, die a perfect death. He wants to die the way a shinobi should. Kakashi actually feels bad about this, seeing more of himself in Naruto than Sasuke, actually. And Kakashi, as he walks away, would give Naruto a book he's held onto, telling Naruto, "Read this. Once you read it, give it back to me. Tell me how you feel about it. And read it once. Read it until you think you understand." He hands Naruto a book called Ways a Shinobi Should Die. Naruto actually takes the book, bows, and walks off. When Kakashi turns back, though, Naruto just used a body flicker and disappeared. Having his housemate reading the book, which made Kurama chime in, saying, "That book. Young Kakashi read it after he lost his team, after he killed one of his teammates. He upgraded a bit after he found a reason to live. I don't know what it was, but I have a big assumption." Naruto says, "Oh, so I guess there's a purpose. So we can find a reason to want to live. It's gonna be hard, but I think this book could help me if it helped someone like him who lost everything he ever had." Grandma just nods, saying, "Yes. Maybe it can help me and you grow close. I don't want to live myself. The one person I cared about is gone, long gone, the last thousands of years." So Naruto and Kurama are going to experience a journey of wanting to live together. The next day, Naruto walked into the camp, still reading the book and being halfway through it. He asks if Kakashi's here yet. They both say no. And he sits down, waiting. 2 hours pass. Naruto finished the book and is rereading it again. Kakashi would see that Naruto's in the beginning, that's not how many times he's read it, and Naruto says he's read it 3 times. Which Kakashi nods, saying, I think when I was your age, I read it at least 15. It may take you more. I know there's someone else who wants to live. I assume, at least. And Naruto says, "You're right. I'll read it for him as well." Now with this, Sasuke and Sakura are confused, but the training would begin. Then Kakashi would say, "Start." One of the bells was immediately gone, and the clone had poofed, or the transformation had poofed into a log, and the bell poofed into a leaf. Naruto's sword was already drawn, having cut off Kakashi's head, and took off the bell. When it comes to basic Kakashi, Naruto can pretty easily blitz him, like it's nothing. All that power, Naruto's probably equal to basic Kakashi, actually. So, yeah. Just faster, actually. That's it. So Kakashi would walk out from the forest saying, "Yeah, you're that strong, huh? This will be a hard fight." Kakashi tore off his headband and just throwing it to the side, saying, "Let's go then." He tried that Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were hiding, and not to be fighting Kakashi using just his sword, which he even drew in his sickle, and was able to land a few small cuts at Kakashi. But eventually, Naruto was able to get above Kakashi. As he's falling, he would say, "Kibi Suzome," or Heel Talon, which led basically a heel kick right to Kakashi's chin, which sent Kakashi into a tree. Immediately, Naruto ended up throwing a sickle right at Kakashi's bell, which made him turn to the side. But quickly, a fireball would be launched, and Sasuke had felt a sense of opportunity, which is what Naruto was luring him into. Naruto pretty effortlessly knew what Kakashi was trying to do, so this didn't really matter too much. Kakashi dodged a fireball, only Naruto grabbed him by his vest, threw him into the air, right towards where the fireball was heading. As soon as Kakashi basically used water jutsu and sprayed it off, Sakura jumped from under the wave, grabbing one of the bells off Kakashi, missing the other one. As soon as Kakashi realized the bell was gone, he then proceeded to get another combo from Naruto. In fact, just being basic punches. Then he realized where Naruto truly flourished. In Taijutsu. In fact, engaging in hand-to-hand combat with Naruto was basically lethal. When Naruto's punches felt like he could fracture his arm at any moment. Naruto's strength was progressively growing. Eventually, one of Naruto's punches was a feint, as then Sasuke would attack Kakashi from behind, using Lion's barrage to his back, and being able to steal one of the belts at the last moment, as Kakashi was able to try to have a dodge, but it was just Sasuke twitching to grab the bell, or itching to grab the bell. As soon as Kakashi landed, he then said that was good teamwork, which confused them all, until he realized that was actual teamwork. Well, it didn't confuse Naruto with Sasuke, or Naruto with Sakura confused Sasuke. And Naruto says, I know it's good teamwork. I had to force him to do it. Sakura doesn't know me that well, and Sasuke hates me. How else will I get them to work with me besides convenience and force? Rin and Sasuke a bit annoyed, and Sakura says, he has a point. And she just walks by. They all eat their lunches, and Kakashi she just realizes that Naruto's like him. He uses his team, but in the way they're supposed to be used. As if Naruto's proving to be better than Kid Kakashi in every way. Naruto's sword even resembles the white chakra saber. Just longer. So, right. Going on with the half the missions, Naruto received himself a few A rank missions that were supposed to be for Anbu. Because of Naruto's power and Feudal Lord's request, Naruto goes on these missions alone. Naruto also displays his power of being able to use the 1 through 3-tailed cloak. So, yeah. This enhances his power, basically just him using, once he's in at least a 1-tailed cloak, he uses basically all taijutsu from there on out, punching through people like they're nothing, like basically being Killua. So yeah, he even has a few techniques that do resemble Killua, being like the nail stepping through someone's chest, being so fast you create after images, so on and so forth. But yeah. Now, when Naruto's back in Konoha one day, he's just eating Ichiraku ramen, and he knows someone's watching him. As soon as Naruto finishes ramen, he points out the girl behind him, who she doesn't know this. He's pointing at her, and they say, I think that's Hinata Hyuga. Hey, Hinata, come on in. Teiichi pulls in, and she's like, dang it, I was caught. And as soon as Hinata arrived, well, Naruto, that's what Naruto says. You can eat with me. You've been watching me for a while. I'll pay. Just stop watching me from here on out, please. And she just nods. Oh, sorry about that. With that, Hinata begins eating, and Naruto, and they have a small conversation. Hinata being shy, and Naruto's not being talkative. Eventually, after an hour or so, and a few bowls of ramen, but it was now an eating contest while still talking. Naruto having much larger appetite due to being starved constantly, well, also having a lot more of a drive to be competitive, because he competed with teenagers and grown men from the ages of 9 to 13. So, yeah. Another time to finish, though, Hinata had basically a record of 36 bowls, and Naruto had 35. Her being one ahead of him. And Kakashi and Team Kurna had watched this go on, being in complete shock. Naruto ended up paying the bill, as he has money as an allowance from Hokage and the Feudal Lord. As Naruto got up burping, Hinata begins to kiss him on the cheek and say thank you. But as soon as she looked to say thank you to Naruto, he was gone somehow. You didn't see him hiding behind a lamppost, holding his cheek with a giant blush. Which made everyone there freeze, going pale, saying, Is he blushing? He ended up laughing at Naruto, saying what? The stoic Naruto now has emotion after a girl kissed him. The only circle starting to keep his foot, but Kurna pulling him away barely, saying, don't. It is in your best interest to not do that again, or I don't think he'll intentionally miss next time. Kiba says, yep, noted. He was put down by Kurenai, and Naruto walks out, composing himself, bowing to Hinata, saying that he didn't deserve that, but thank you. She leaves. He's with Team Kurenai, and Sasuke will tease him for the entire day. Sakura too. Or she more doesn't tease him, but she thinks it's cute. So yeah, to Naruto, he thinks it's teasing. To Sakura, she's just actually giving him romantic advice. But we're gonna go to 1 week earlier. 1 week earlier, Naruto mastered the Rasengan. Naruto put it off because he seemed so simple. But when he tried to do it again, the first day, he failed. The next day, he mastered the water balloon and nearly burst the rubber ball, but he didn't do it the way he liked. In fact, being a perfectionist will put off the Rasengan and made him take 1 week to do it. He wanted to do it the way he liked it, not the way he was told. Which allowed Naruto to more or less be able to use a perfect Rasengan, even creating one size of Minato's without wind release. So, Naruto's Rasengan's giant. So, yeah. And Kermit pointed out how big Minato's wind release Rasengan was, and told Naruto that his Rasengan alone is probably a contender for that. And Naruto more or less combined his area with his taijutsu, which is like basically nin taijutsu. So yeah, which is an actual style in Naruto. So Naruto more or less uses nin taijutsu than actual ninjutsu. So yeah. But Naruto does possess fire, earth, and wind release. So. But now going on to Team 7, when they had the Bridge Builder mission. As soon as they started walking, Naruto asked Tasuna, "Why'd you lie to the Hokage?" We need everyone freeze, and what do you mean, why do you lie? And Naruto says, "This mission is not a damn C rank. That's why he's so defensive about Genin. Everyone knows that at least Genin and Chunin can take C ranks. Jonin rarely ever go on C ranks. Everyone knows this, so why were you mad?" Tasuna froze and just says, "Damn it!" And they suppose the truth to the land of waves. He says, Gato, huh? The feudal lord doesn't like him either. In fact, I'm pretty sure if I tell him that our team can kill him, we'll all get hefty funds. So Sakura's like, "Wait, how much money?" Naruto will give a rough estimate that I'm going to put in US dollars. About $10,000. And it's showing $10,000. Gato, who's a business tycoon, paying 100 shinobi. If Naruto were to take 100 shinobis, bandits, ruffians, adding up the payment that Gato would have for them, payment from the feudal lord, and her other businesses and the waves, he could end up with well over $100,000. Which immediately, like, wait, we can do that. And as soon as they're about to say that, they cross a puddle. For the first time. Which Naruto immediately stops it, like, "What's wrong?" That's what Naruto just says. "Keep walking." They do just that, only for Naruto to put her sickle on the ground and sweep it across the puddle, exposing the two demon brothers. Last on instant react and kick one of them into the ground, trying to use Lion's Barrage, but his force was too strong. He didn't realize how strong he was physically. Sakura on instinct also ended up throwing out Kunai Ninja Wire, like Kakashi would have the explosive tag on one of them. Basically attached explosive tag to one of the wires as it got by their brothers. The tag blew up and basically scorched the brother. So yeah, so one brother basically scorched and unconscious. The other one is just on the ground gasping for air because it got the wind knocked out of him. So yeah, you guys were wondering why Sakura would basically be fighting more often. The idea of teamwork, basically making their team stronger, would make her feel different. So the idea of working with the team would make her train with Sasuke more often. In fact, being persistent on it, saying that's what our team is supposed to be like, from what Kakashi said. If we were to please him, maybe get stronger missions. Her Team 7 works together with training more often, but more or less Naruto has to be coerced in training with them more often. So yeah. But yeah. So with this, Sakura is a bit more powerful. I'd probably say probably as strong as Tenten is, about that. So yeah. And Sasuke is probably about as strong as, like, Base Lee at maximum. Even with his 1-point Sharingan activated, Base Lee is where he caps out. So yeah, Yamamoto are knocked out, and Naruto basically tells Kakashi that he was head of the interrogation corps, and that Genjutsu may not be enough. So he try it first, then he'll run head interrogation corps, but he was basically one of the lead interrogators for people who had crossed the feudal lord. So yeah, interrogation corps is Konoha's thing. Naruto is kind of his own thing. So, yeah. But, yeah. Now, eventually, Kakashi just said that there's something from they're withholding, so Naruto should do his thing. No, Naruto bind the two brothers to a tree and beat them mercilessly for a while. The time that they spend in the Genjutsu and canon is the time that they're not just spend torturing them. With this, the brothers are basically giving up permission they have, and Naruto tells them that, well, he'll have a clone with him instead of the real him, but he's gonna go after Gato. He won't kill them yet because he can gather information, but he sees simply steal some money, steal some information, then wait. And they agree with that. Naruto ends up running off after Gato, leaving the brothers behind the tree, beaten up, bloodied, and stabbed. Not to die yet, but if they don't escape within the next 2 hours, they're gonna die. They do escape and find the way to Konoha, but then get healed, then get put in prison. So, yeah. But yeah, Naruto found Gato's base, where Zabuza and Haku had just left. Naruto jumped and landed on the base, sticking to the base using chakra control, and kind of crawled around it. Kind of like Spider-Man crawls around buildings. But Naruto, using sensory, would basically find the room where Gato keeps most of his money, find a very weak guard. So Naruto ended up feeling his sword with basically chakra, and it's pretty easy to cut a hole about his size through the building, come inside, and because he has basically stabbed like the part of the room with his sword, he basically just jumped out, and his sword basically stuck it back in by flowing chakra through it and welding it together, basically. As soon as Naruto landed, he takes off his cloak, throwing it around the one shinobi's neck, basically strangling him. Naruto's sitting on his back, kind of like increasing his weight a bit. So the guy basically has his ribs crushed, and because of that, he can barely breathe. And then, lack of air from being strangled, just kills him within at least 10 seconds. So Naruto is able to take off the cloak, put it back on, and take all the money that he can carry. But then he finds a scroll, opens that scroll, empties it out of just being useless things, put the money in the scroll, then escape. So yeah, he also goes to the building, finds a bit of information in other scrolls, keeping them with him. Then he runs off to find Team 7. Then Naruto's clone contended Zabuza for a bit and then poofed away, and Kakashi was fighting with the clone, so it went out well. But Naruto already knows the secret of the shadow clones, so when he arrived, he already knew what was going on. He arrived right as Zabuza was taken out by Haku. And Naruto let Haku escape because he didn't know who Haku was and couldn't tell that Zabuza was alive. Because Naruto wasn't using sensory ninjutsu. And Naruto only has experience in the Hidden Leaf or in the Land of Fire in general. So he doesn't know how other villagers do things until Kakashi mentioned it. So Naruto is experienced, sure, but he's still well behind the ears when it comes to international shinobi. He's hit a few assassins, but that's about it. He doesn't know the assassins like affiliation, but they're literally like low-level bandits or meaningless rogue shinobi. So, but they get these other waves. Naruto hands them a ton of money, which allows them all to basically get money for their own doings. So yeah. Now when it comes to like them needing food, Naruto jumps down to the ocean, or like the water below that connects to the ocean, and basically just fills the entire lake to the brim with water, and then makes currents splash in a lot more water from the ocean, which brings in a lot of fish. That the villagers are able to catch enough fish to basically allow them to have enough food for a long time. So yeah. With this, Naruto brought a bit of food and a lot of wealth in the waves. They all ate that night and slept comfortably. So yeah, back a few of them used a bit of their money as pillows or mattresses. So yeah. Now Naruto has experience with building as well, so he'll be helping the village builders like building the bridge. He has more experience repairing the feudal lord's estate. So yeah, more his son, the feudal lord, but still. So overnight, he began building the bridge on his own to the point where when it came to the week being done, the bridge was already built. In fact, all that needed to be done was just the bridge being announced as finished. So yeah, Zabuza and Haku would come back later on, and we see Zabuza ready to fight Naruto instead of Kakashi. But Kakashi, who wasn't even tired, in fact trained with Naruto a bit more. So because of this, Naruto and Kakashi were the ones training together more often than Sakura and Sasuke. Kakashi would use a bit of teachings he got from Naruto, and Naruto basically just uses a few seals to wrap up the entire village to make sure that they're safe. But he kind of watches as Sakura and Sasuke fight Haku, and Kakashi himself will fight Zabuza. But Naruto, wanting to put his life behind him now, as he's been encouraged to do, does actually insist that they don't kill. He wants to see something different in life. So he's having a bit of changes right now. A few changes. Being more like, I would say, Anbu Kakashi. So yeah. I would say like Anbu Kakashi, or at least like early Jonin Kakashi. So yeah. Like he won't hesitate to kill, but he does have a few conflictions, I'd say. Or contradictories, I guess. So with this, Kakashi wouldn't kill Zabuza, but he beats him down mercilessly, pretty easily actually. So yeah. Then Sakura and Sasuke. Sakura having the better strategies and IQ to actually trap Haku's ice and stuff. And we point out that they're filled with chakra. He does encourage Sasuke to fill his weapons with chakra, throw them at the ice to make them crack and stuff. Which he does do when he basically just shuriken jutsu and crack all the mirrors, which slows down Haku by a lot. But does Sasuke basically punch Haku through one of the mirrors, and Sakura herself would be able to bind Haku with ninja wire that Sasuke would light on fire. Would basically burn a lot of Haku's torso, but Haku's clothes are also burned, as Haku would fall down, and their cloak would fall off, which does reveal a lot of women clothing underneath Haku's haori or kimono. Naruto saw this and basically just blushed as he fell over on basically kind of like the railing. Sakura would call Sasuke pervert and punch him in the back of the head, and then Haku just shamefully covers herself. So yeah. But now going on, Gato and his men try to arrive, but the village basically hear the chain of explosions. As they then see from a distance, a head comes flying, and it being Gato's, with an explosive kunai about to go off in his head. It goes off, and they then see his brain splatter across the bridge. They can clean that up. Naruto is deemed a savior for taking out the entire troop with Traps alone. And the bridge is basically named. What should the name of the bridge be? Pause. The bridge is named the Bridge of Luck. They're lucky to have Team 7 be the one who wants to save them. So, Team 7, 7th team, yeah, luck. Now, they end up returning to Konoha, and they should have 2 prisoners, being Zabuza and Haku. Zabuza being a defector from the land from the Hidden Mist, and basically rebelling. Well, he's offered a chance to fight against the Hidden Mist at any chance if he sides with the Hidden Leaf, and he does do that. But one thing they have to hand the executioner's blade back to the Hidden Mist for a price though. So yeah. But Zabuza is given a blade resembling the one that Hashirama would use to fight Madara, being like the giant bulky one with like the weird angle at the top of it. I found a picture of it real quick. Like see the giant. Oh my bad. See the giant that Hashirama is using. So Zabuza gets a blade like that. So yeah. I have a broken charger. My bad. But yeah. Now with this, Team 7 basically just live in Konoha peacefully now, and we'd go on to the future, being basically just Konohamaru being bullied by Kankuro. I have a coincidence. Naruto does save him, where Naruto becomes Konohamaru's master, but still, or his big bro more or less, but still. And yeah. Nogara would say within Naruto's bloodlust and just tell him what's your name? Even when something was saying to Sasuke, too. And Naruto simply says, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Sasuke says his name is Sasuke Uchiha, and Gaara is happy with that and just leaves. Naruto did punch Kankuro in the face, and Kankuro has a bloody nose, so he's that being stuffed by Tamari. So, yeah. But now for the training exams. So with this, as soon as they walk in, Lee would attack Naruto and Sasuke, trying to launch 2 attacks. As soon as Lee went in for his first attack, he's immediately put an armbar by Naruto, with a flying armbar, and held in place. Lee says, as expected of the head guard of the feudal lord. and he's struggling to get Naruto off of him. But in a burst, like basically the third gate in a quick burst, then exits it. Naruto jumped off of Lee, being surprised actually. But Naruto wanted to kill Lee actually. That's honestly pure joy of a fight. That's it. He didn't though what he wanted to. So. Yeah. But Naruto holding out his hand to Lee, saying his name is Naruto Uzumaki. And Sasuke has a kunai out about like if he were to block, he'd cut Lee's leg badly. When he says his name is Sasuke Uchiha, as he pulls his hand out to shake as well. And Sakura, Lee asked her to introduce herself because he has a crush on her and all that. So yeah. But yeah, now going on, we would see basically all the teams meeting, and as soon as Naruto Hinata, he hid behind Sakura and just kind of covered himself. Naruto's also shorter than her and a decent amount thinner than she is. Probably about the same build as Sasuke actually. He can somewhat like hide behind her pretty well if he copies her stance. But still, he can briefly be seen because of his longer hair than Sakura. So yeah, actually no, not longer. Her hair's longer because she didn't cut it. Probably just the hair color flowing from behind Sakura. That's about it. So yeah. But eventually, he gets the side of Naruto, hiding them behind Kiba, or probably behind Chino more or less. But yeah. Naruto's kind of holding out his hand, letting out a shaky wave as he then runs into the exam room where he just sits down, and Hinata won't be by him. Then Hinata sat next to him, where he puts his head down on his desk, and somebody says, "Can I please move seats?" And he says, "No, it's finalized." Which makes Naruto just a bit nervous now that he's next to Hinata, and Hinata has the same question. But they both the same answer, being, "No, it's finalized." Naruto's pretty intelligent himself, so he'd be answering the test relatively correctly. With his experience toppled on of just basic good IQ, he got all 10 questions answered in like the same time as Minato, or probably Itachi. He turned the paper, letting Minato copy off of him, giving her half the answers, but not all of them, which he appreciates. He'd give the answers to the harder ones, letting her answer the more difficult ones, or not more like the more medium ones on her own. It still took her a minute, but she still answered them all. So, yeah. Because Naruto was done early, he basically examined everyone in the room, finding out weaknesses or possible weaknesses. So, yeah. Now, if you fast forward a few hours, Anko bursts in, and then they go. When it comes to the Forest of Death, Naruto's dozing off. Anko throws a kunai at him, but he pretty easily just smacks it away because he just blocks and throws a kunai at Anko, which he pretty easily caught, but calls Naruto a pretty impressive kid. But he says, thanks. But don't throw any more kunais at me before I have to kill you. Which made her smirk. So yeah. And Orochimaru looked at Naruto, actually kind of wanting his body as much as he wants Sasuke's. The body of one of the best killers on Earth, being 13 and already on the same level as someone like Kakashi of the Sharingan. What more could you want? So, it's pretty strange, honestly, but still. Plus, there's also the idea of having a possible tailed beast inside of him. So, yeah. But then they go for the death. Naruto doesn't use the bathroom, but goes off saying that there's a team watching them and he'll defeat them, wondering if they have the scroll they need. He jumps off, comes back holding 3 bloody headbands, but no scroll. He has the headbands, so they're not dead, but then they're done being shinobi. So yeah. They keep going until they're confronted by Orochimaru. As soon as the snake begins to slam into them, Naruto basically uses his base strength and lifts up the snake. He struggled a bit, obviously, but just kind of suplexed it into the forest, which surprised Orochimaru. Then another snake would be charging at Naruto, with Orochimaru on top of it. Then Sasuke would jump over Naruto, before coding 2 kunai and shuriken, and basically doing a Levi roll across the snake's head, into Orochimaru, where he actually cut off like 4 of Orochimaru's fingers. Now Orochimaru tried to jump back, only for Sakura to just throw a barrage of kunai at Orochimaru, and as soon as he tried to jump behind them, or jump away from them, Ninja Warrior would catch his legs and tear it apart. Not tearing it off, but his legs pretty much shredded, being unable to walk. Now, Orochimaru thought Naruto would be the most tired one, and went after him to try to bite him. But a sickle then went through the bottom of his mouth, up, and he would pierce his tongue, and because it wouldn't go through his head. Naruto jumped back, basically pulling apart Orochimaru's bottom jaw and separating his tongue. Orochimaru is actually nervous about this because that kid's fast, as he is. Orochimaru decided to just kind of not have the idea to attack and just jumped away. So yeah, with that he did regurgitate himself. But as soon as that happened, like maybe 30 minutes later, they encountered Team Dosu. But then they also encountered Team Kabuto, Team Orochimaru, minus Orochimaru. So yeah, this is gonna be a pretty hard fight. And Naruto and Kabuto would clash, with them being both about equal to each other. So yeah. Naruto having superior physical power, but Kabuto having a bigger variety of raw skill. So yeah. Actually, he is paralyzed at least two of Naruto's limbs, being also like one of his arms, one of his legs. So yeah. But then he hitting Naruto in the chest. As soon as Naruto hit the ground, Orochimaru would charge in, sing away the nine-tailed fox just before he healed. But Naruto actually was stuck being basically paralyzed now, or a liability for his team at least. He's able to kind of hold himself up on one leg, but Orochimaru beat the shit out of him after that, and then bit Sasuke. Now Sakura is pretty easily able to basically kill Zaku by actually binding his arms with ninja wire and having them blow up, which kind of blew apart his arms and he bled out. King beat her unconscious, but yeah. Now with this, Team Lee ends up arriving, sitting Naruto on the ground, basically really able to he's dragging Sakura and Sasuke away. He has Sakura in one hand, Sasuke shirt, killing Sasuke with Sasuke's shirt in his mouth, trying to drag them both under a tree. It's obvious that they're both pretty badly beaten, like the team itself is. Billy walks over, picking up Sakura. Tenzin picking up Naruto, and then just picking up Sasuke. Put them under the tree, asking about their scroll. But Naruto simply just mumbles out the words, "Run." Like, why? He's like, Orochimaru is in this forest somewhere, and I don't know where. And then she's the only one who knows about Orochimaru, and just simply says, "We need to go as fast as we can." Well, the team would run towards the gate, where Uncle's like, "Wait, what are you kids doing back here?" As that's when Ninja yells, Orochimaru attacks Sasuke. Uncle bursts in, telling them get out, and she'll try to get out as many teams as she can. They just find the hidden brain team obviously cut up by a sickle, which Naruto's the only one that uses that. And she knows that if Orochimaru guts Naruto, this is going to be a pretty hard battle. But she just tells Hiruzen arrives, and they get up a few teams as they can. Now, they don't find Team Naruto, so the teams that were let out are let back in, and I won't say the team that Orochimaru was gone, but still, it's a scary thought. So, yeah. So with this, they have what was it? Hold up. Alright, what was I? Oh, yeah. So with this, we'll basically kind of extend how many days Force of Death is for a few teams. So, yeah. The teams that didn't get the tower in time, and the teams that were let out get at least like one more day. Instead of being 5 days, it's 6. So a few teams passed still. Team Guide didn't need the extra time. They still passed, but still, yeah. Nothing seems to happen would pass, but pass on their own by just hunting down a random team. So, yeah. Naruto recovered on his own quickly, but still. Sasuke also has curse mark outbreak, but Naruto shut him down in 10 seconds. It was pretty quickly. And Sakura got back up in a matter of time. So, yeah. But now when it comes to the preliminaries, the fights are not any different, honestly. Kiba was actually on guard fighting Naruto going all out from the start. But Naruto kind of backfisted him into the wall and grabbed Gabimaru by the scruff and just scared him into peeing himself and passing out. So yeah, Kiba got one punch and Gabimaru got terrified. That's how the fight went. Now, Yoroi was well known as part of Team Orochimaru, but they didn't rat them out in hopes of just throwing hands. So, yeah. And Sasuke ran Yoroi's fade disrespectfully. It was a very, very brutal fight. Yoroi did not get up after that fight. Sasuke beat Yoroi to death. This is basically Yoroi's beaten to death. So, yeah. Became Sakura versus Ino. Sakura won that fight pretty easily, having a bit more tricks up her sleeve. And Mr. Mind Transfer Jutsu. Sakura won that fight using one of Naruto's signature techniques. The technique that she used was called Kabutowari or helmet splitter, which is basically actually on top of the head, which took her out right then and there. So yeah. Now going on, we probably go to just like other fights. We came to like Lee versus shit. Gara. Yeah, that was it. We came to Lee versus Gara. Well, that fight happened, and Naruto was actually pretty impressed with Lee. In fact, Lee was in a bit better fighting condition, which should allow him to like nearly beat Gara. The fight was more of a draw actually, because Lee and Gara were both pretty anticipated for the finals. They ended up leaving it to a split decision, which is where Gara had won the split decision. So yeah, it was more of like a coin toss, but still. So yeah. Now Gara basically has a bit of head trauma, and Lee has a pretty badly broken body. So when we get into Lee in the hospital, Naruto would walk into the hospital room where Lee's lies to Naruto. "What are you doing here, Naruto? Shouldn't you be training? I don't need your pity." Naruto's eyes shut and says, "Kurama, can you heal Lee?" And Kurama says, "Yes. Just make sure the cloak is put in burst because he can't heal Lee's body entirely all at once. The reason Naruto has instantaneous healing is due to him being an Uzumaki as well." So basically put the cloak on Lee, and Lee's arm is basically healed a bit, but there was still pretty bad bruising. We didn't shock Lee, as Naruto tells Lee, he'll be back in a few days. As Kurama's chakra is very much kind of radioactive for humans, so yeah. But Naruto in that meantime basically met Jiraiya, went to see Lee. Met Jiraiya, go to see Lee. After 3 days, Lee's entire body was healed. We shocked everyone, but he basically told everyone it was Naruto's doing. So that offered Naruto a lot of money if he would do that for a lot of the patients, and he did just that. So, yeah. So the entire month of training and then hospital visits. So, yeah. So I guess you're crying, so my brother just being upset that he's being told no ice cream. So, yeah. But, yeah. Now, when it came to the finals. Now, Naruto can actually contend, like, now in terms of power, I'd probably say he can contend with someone like... all around power. I don't know who to say, honestly. Like, he surpassed base Kakashi. He beat this current strong Kakashi, and I'd say he taps out at maybe like Kakuzu level at this point. So, I'm going with Kakuzu level. I'll go with that. So, yeah. Shouldn't have put on Kakuzu level. I think that's a bit too low. I don't like Pain or Kisame level, but I'd say if you were to fight Kakuzu and like Hidan, he'd be about equal to that duo. He's an equal to the zombie duo. So, yeah. Plus Naruto's body is insanely durable right now, so his durability basically kind of makes like a weapon track on his skin, which is why his internal attacks worked. So yeah, internal attacks are what damaged him so far. So yeah, so he arrived to fight Neji, and Neji was ready to throw hands. And Naruto also wanted blood for him hurting Hinata. So yeah. Then the fight started though. Naruto arrived and basically just kicked the dog shit out of Neji. So, yeah. Neji hit the ground, bouncing off of it for a second. Then as soon as Naruto grabbed him, he just yells, come. He just yells, Hiboshi, or Fire Monk. Where Naruto's body just ignited, and Naruto ended up picking up rocks and right at Neji's body. As Neji had tried to use like basically just like kind of like the 64 palms, Rock hit his hand with such precision that they had still burned his hands pretty badly. Naruto jumped back with his bandages even catching on fire. He ended up trying to hit them off, but when he tried to, Naruto would jump right at Neji and just yell, Bakusui, or explosive water. Where Neji's coated in basically just a stream of flames. He jumped out of it, his headband's fallen off, and his body is basically just scorched. He trying to tell his backstory, but Naruto simply said, I don't think you could do it, frankly, I don't give a shit. He ended up grabbing Neji by the collar and basically just beat him to a pulp until he told Neji. The reason they acting like this is because you refuse to set your own destiny. Well, you refuse to set your own destiny, and you refuse to let others shape their own. You're stuck in the ways of a basic Hyuga. You're no better than the rest of them, in my opinion. He punched Neji one more time before dropping him and walking away, with Naruto being pronounced the winner. And Neji realized Naruto was right. If anything, he's as bad as the elders who allowed his dad to die. So, yeah. Going on, we'd probably go on to one of the next fights, being, honestly, I'd say Sakura versus, like, well, Dosu, I'm pretty sure was supposed to be in the finals. So whoever Dosu was supposed to fight Sakura. And this is like a three-way fight between Sakura, Kankuro, and Shino. Shino would win that fight because Kankuro forfeited, and Sakura just wasn't on his level yet. So yeah. Now Sakura did get a bit of training with Sasuke and Kakashi because he's a Genjutsu user, and they're both Genjutsu types. So yeah. Actually, they have Haku in the village, and Sakura is more or less like a brute force fighter, having the ability to use Genjutsu. So I could see Zabuza and Haku taking over her training, actually, which I'd allow. So she still loses, but did pretty well against Shino, someone who's never canonically lost a fight. So yeah. Oh, pause. So Sasuke versus Gaara. Honestly, this fight is not much different from canon, in my opinion. So yeah. Because of this fight not being much different, I don't feel like I didn't even go over it. We probably go on straight to the one-tailed attack. So yeah. Now when it came to like basically getting Jutsu, Naruto being immune to it, just ran after Gaara immediately, being able to keep pace with Gaara relatively easily. In fact, he ran past all the shinobi, and he had clones take them out immediately. When it came to him basically confronting Gaara and the Sand siblings, well, or Gaara and his two siblings, he, as soon as he arrived, not long after, followed Sasuke, Sakura, Shino, and Shikamaru. Naruto and Sasuke were up against Gaara, who turned into the one-tailed immediately. Sakura went up against Kankuro. Shino went up. Sakura and Shikamaru went up against Kankuro, and Shino himself went against Tamari. As a fight, Shikamaru was pretty easily able to basically just paralyze all the puppets and pierce them through their bodies, using basically or not sell them but crush them, certain parts of them using basically Shadow Strangle. Sakura basically used Chakra Infused Shuriken to basically shatter them, and Kankuro himself basically just left and pinned down by Shikamaru and Sakura. And then we basically have Tamari, who can't land a single hit on Kankuro, but eventually finds her way under her and just uppercuts her right in the chin and knocks her out right then and there. So yeah. Now Naruto basically Sasuke for lightning can reach a certain temperature, you can somewhat probably paralyze certain parts of the Shikaku. Sasuke basically reached like its boiling point with his chakra, even using Curse Mark, and actually basically just freeze one of Shukaku's arms, or not freeze, but kind of crystallize it with glass. Because it's shattered, Naruto takes his opportunity to run and jump off the particles of glass straight through Shukaku's body, then up through his head and kick Gaara right in the chin into the ground. Naruto landed with Gaara, landed on his feet, and based on Gaara, he knows how he lived, and probably even in more detail than Gaara. Him and Gaara basically lived almost equal lives in their opinion, with people always being sent to kill him or beat him. So Naruto and Gaara had a much closer bond, to the point where Naruto even kind of hugged Gaara until his siblings came to grab him. So yeah. So yeah. Now we fast forward a lot more, probably into like the start of their Evil mission, where Naruto and Jiraiya do get along pretty well. In fact, Naruto kind of like clings to Jiraiya. Like it's the point where he refuses to Jiraiya until Jiraiya would ask. Naruto usually being used to obeying orders constantly. Jiraiya actually liked Naruto a lot more than before. I was like, "Hey kid, stay here, and I'm gonna go gamble." I was like, "Okay, sure. Need money?" And Jiraiya's like, "Not much actually." Like one of them doesn't even take advantage of Naruto because Naruto's like asking to give him money. Like Jiraiya's like, "This kid's used to such servitude to the point where I don't want to bother him too much." So he gives Naruto he'll like, "Yeah, sure. If I win, I'll pay you back all the winnings," and he does just that. So yeah. Dry did also offer to get Naruto laid, but not just gonna blush and turn away at the fact of that, so Dry didn't do it. But he did give Naruto the early script for the next Icha novel, which Naruto did read and blush the entire way through. So, yeah. When he came to Itachi and Kisame coming to his door, Itachi would knock. As soon as the third knock was coming, a blade would come straight through the door and actually stab Itachi on one of his fingers. He would jump back and will kind of just kind of bandage up his finger using his headband, like to turn off a piece of it. This Kisame went to break down the door. There's no one in there. And then Naruto ends up basically jumping out from under the bed, kicking Kisame right in the face. But then as soon as the kick landed, Naruto would then yell, "Keion done," or flame judgment, where his kick would ignite and basically give him a boost, sending Samehada right into Kisame's chest and Kisame through the building. Naruto landing for him and Itachi engaging hand-to-hand combat, with them both almost being equal in terms of hand-to-hand combat skill. The best way to compare the fight is basically just, I wanna say it resembles Ji Chang versus Daniel Park in lookism. It kind of resembles that with it. Like, one clearly has the edge, but one of them is landing really good hits. Like Itachi is Ji Chang, pretty easily, obviously having the lead in terms of all around power, but not just landing really strong hits. But Jiraiya arrives as Kisame had jumped back up, which leads to those two fighting outside. Guy ends up arriving and using basically one of the gates would kick Kisame in the ground, knocking him out actually. Then Sasuke would arrive using Chidori, but as soon as Itachi basically caught him, and as soon as he tried to put him under Tsukuyomi, Naruto would basically throw a Senbon that basically was so shrunk or basically just reduced in size because of Naruto's wind chakra, and she kind of cut one of Itachi's eyes, blinding him in one eye. He jumped back, being surprised he was actually blinded, and permanently blinded. But from that side, he's punched right in the face and then flying into a wall and knocked out. Uki's already been knocked out outside, he's grabbed by Jiraiya, and then Itachi is grabbed by Sasuke. With that, Itachi and Kisame are both in by Konoha with Sasuke and Guy, and Sasuke is actually happy that he was able to help in the defeat of Itachi. He's all gotten a little more used to teamwork, so he felt like he was a part of this effort. And Naruto had gotten his ass kicked by Itachi previously, so he doesn't feel as bad. So yeah. So they're both brought to Konoha, and Itachi basically tells Tsunade the truth, and Kisame would hear it, and he's surprised he thinks that Itachi wouldn't be remorseful. But she kind of leans into the wall, telling Kisame he's sorry for lying to him for so long, knowing his history. He wanted to tell Kisame earlier, but he knows that because of their strained relationship until now, they'd be more strained. He thinks now is the best time to tell them. And Kisame agrees, which leads to them both kind of putting their fist out of their cells and doing a small fist bump. Pause. Now, Tsunade would tell Sasuke the truth, especially with Danzo and Hiruzen, what they did. And Sasuke says, Tsunade put it in a way that wouldn't make him hate Konoha. So, Kage just to make sure he wouldn't feel vengeful. But just tell him that we'll make sure you get some training that Danzo cannot spy on. And he says, alright, just keep me away from that fucking bastard until I feel ready. Until I want to kill him. And she's like, you can kill him all you want. Just you need to train first. He'll kill you instead. Danzo is probably stronger than Hiruzen is right now. Than Hiruzen was right now. So you need a lot of training. And he just nods, saying, he'll train for 1,000 years if it means he can kill Danzo at some point. So yeah. And Itachi does admit that his one eye is blinded, to Kisame, and Kisame's alright, I feel bad for you. But then Sasuke comes in, and he's being nice with Itachi, and so Itachi's you know the truth. He tells Sasuke about the Mangekyo Sharingan, and they basically both swap eyes. Which leads to Itachi, basically Sasuke. Sasuke basically is blind in one eye, but because the blinding can be treated, it is treated by Tsunade, who's able to restore partial vision in that eye. The eye is an EMS, but it's very blurry to see out of. Unless you turn on your Mangekyo, you cannot see out of it that well. Even when you turn on Mangekyo, it's a bit shady. So yeah, it's in that one eye though. So yeah, Itachi and Sasuke both have EMS now. But Danzo isn't aware of this, so he just doesn't know whose eye is who. Because I don't think Itachi would have I don't think he'd have flame control. I'd say he probably just has Kodomo Tsukami. So yeah, Kodomo Tsukami on top of Tsukuyomi. So yeah. But Naruto, but yeah. So Naruto, I don't know why I said Tsunade earlier. Yeah, and then obviously Finders. No, it's no difficult. It's not difficult. That arc is honestly not the same, or it's not different by any means, in my opinion. But that's Naruto probably no diff. Not Concro Kabuto. I'd say this arc is not much different. So yeah. But yeah, we go on probably just now to your time skip. Or first Sasuke retrieval mission, which does happen. Like, you want to revenge is Danzo, and Danzo's in Konoha. He's like, he doesn't want to be in Konoha right now. He doesn't want to destroy, he just doesn't want to be in it. There's a chance he would leave. So Danzo ends up leaving. Sasuke ends up leaving because of Danzo being in Konoha. Then we go forward again, probably just Sasuke retrieval mission, in which Naruto consents to this. Is he crying over ice cream again? He got a lick of ice cream earlier and just getting mad at everyone now because he can't have any more. Yeah, my brother's 2 and just freaks out at everything now. Like, he woke up from a nap today just angry at everything. I don't know why. So, yeah. But going on forward. Naruto using the traces of chakra he can find, says he's beaten this team on his own before. He doesn't think it'd be too hard to assemble a team that can take them down now. The team is basically the same as in canon, but Lee is there from the start. So, yeah. And Neji's there, is ready to fight, in fact, not even wearing a headband. So, yeah. Because, well, one, his headband was basically ignited, but he feels a sense of freedom with it off, so he doesn't wear it. He actually wears it on his arm now. But the seals aren't activated, though, so it's not showing. But they leave, and as soon as they're going, the first person they find is Drobo. Naruto puts a Choji's for saying, Choji, you can handle it, right? Choji jump up, being a bit stronger than before, saying, you're dang right I can. Since Choji and Drobo fight, both being a lot stronger, Choji being a lot stronger than before, Drobo being a bit weakened from his first fight with Naruto a few months ago. He's recovered, sure, but some damage was still internal. He had to take a break off training. So this fight happens. Choji not even eating the last colored pill. He beats Drobo before he enters his final state. Little Choji just passes out from chakra exhaustion. So yeah, a lot of Sunflower are a lot weaker than before, and the team they were weaker than before, and this team's stronger than before. So one's stronger, one's weaker. That's kind of how it's going right now. So then this fight being Kidomaru, he's down 2 arms. He is down 2 arms. So yeah, this for the sake of it not weeding me out, he has like the 2 arms on the normal side, but still his other 2 arms are basically severed, so his arrows aren't as strong or fast. It was a point where Neji just basically just no diffs him in seconds. Well, not seconds, probably like a few minutes, but still, Neji's not hit at all. The arrows are a lot slower, so you can keep track of them. So yeah, the best is he has small scratches, and Kidomaru's beat into the dirt. So yeah. So Neji goes back and reunites with his team right as they find Sakon and Ukon. And Kiba is basically able to fling over Fang Sakon into the chest, or he caves it in and kills him. But Ukon's all the less bit of trouble. As soon as he begins struggling, though, we see Neji arrive, but from behind, grab Ukon by the neck and just snap it right then and there. So yeah, so Ukon's just dead. And the next one is Tayuya. Lee is more vulnerable to Genjutsu. Naruto's just immune to it, but has to chase Sasuke and Gabimaru, so they keep going. So yeah, Shikamaru is still behind to fight Tayuya, but he pretty easily, but kind of like as soon as the demons come out and stuff, we basically see Neji and Kiba arrive and take down the demons, and Tamari would arrive at the last minute before they beat Tayuya, who enters her second state, just bonk her over the head with her iron fan and knock her out. So they handled her ability. Tamari handled the person. It was a pretty good group effort. But then we see Kibimaru arrive, and we basically have Lee ready to square up. Now he does have sake just in case his wounds being acting up, but he's in peak condition right now. He's in peak. This fight's gonna go on a lot longer. The fight, like the point where when Gaara arrives, Lee and Kibimaru are scrapping on even terms. Are even scrapping on even terms still. And Lee didn't act up he didn't need sake for a while, so, yeah. But by the time that Gaara arrived, Kibimaru was almost on death's door at this point. By the time that Gaara got serious, Kibimaru already died. So, yeah. And they were Gaara and Lee were not close to being killed already. They were there, Kibimaru honestly was too weakened to even use that technique. He was about to die when Gaara arrived. So, yeah. So with this, we can probably go on further. That's wondering why Gaara, or why Lee didn't die earlier. He got killed in 4 days and then had 3 weeks to train with Guy again. He achieved a further gate because of Guy needing him to do that so he doesn't almost get killed next time. So, yeah. In fact, when it came to Naruto versus Sasuke, the entirety of the Sand siblings and the Sasuke people team is just watching this fight go on. So yeah, so as they fight, well, Naruto's not even using Kurama's chakra, Sasuke's going all out. Naruto beats him into the dirt disrespectfully. After the fight's done, Sasuke tried to use his Chidori. Naruto jumped over him, grabbed him by the hair, and dragged him down the waterfall. He dragged him down with the stone. Then rather than beat Sasuke's head into the pavement full force. But then Sasuke's face is basically unrecognizable until Kurama kills him. So yeah. Well, Sasuke is dropped, then dragged off. Kabuto and Naruto try to intervene, but Naruto's not in the mood for this, and just for on Kabuto in the chest, caving it in, which makes Naruto have to save Kabuto instead. So, yeah. But because of this is where Kabuto would begin his Dragon Sage journey. His chest is severely damaged, and they're down a lot of people, and Naruto has the idea that Kabuto has in his books to, well, kind of return DNA, Jugo DNA, all that. It was called in, and we basically see Dragon Sage Kabuto awakening. So yeah, so first there's some decisions. Sasuke's arrested for like around a week, but Itachi and Kisame are the ones stepping up to be his teachers now. Sasuke was trained by Itachi, Kisame, and Kakashi. The next 2 years, 2.5 years, we see Shizune, Haku, Zabuza, and them willing the. So Kisame and Itachi, Kisame and Zabuza are basically Sasuke's sword teachers. There's Haku, Shizune, and Tsunade are the teacher for Sakura all around. Kakashi and Itachi are Sasuke's ninjutsu teachers. And Naruto just leaves for Mount Myoboku on like a trek to Mount Myoboku for 3 months. So yeah. So with this, it basically leads to Naruto learning all the jutsu he does along the way. He reveals his sheet of basically the forbidden jutsus. Naruto reveals he's mastered most of them, actually. He just doesn't use them because he doesn't need to. They're just too overpowered for the people he has to fight. So, yeah. Only thing Naruto's missing is basically the final stage of flying Raijins. All he's missing. They're like, so you can do reanimation. I was like, yep. So I was like, okay, cool. One of your parents. So yeah, I was like, interesting proposition, actually. They're like, all right, once you master Sage Mode, I'll teach you how to bring back your parents. I'll even help you, even though I despise this jutsu. So yeah. With this we go on, and we basically see Naruto head to Mount Myoboku, and shockingly, in 1 day he mastered Sage Mode. So Naruto knew summoning that had happened during 1 month. Naruto's started training basically extended to him learning when released Sengon and learning the basics of learning about Sage Mode, and he tried it on his own. Which allowed him taking nature energy slowly but normally. Within a day he mastered it. Like maybe like 2 hours in perfect Sage Mode, then the rest of the day perfect Sage. So the entire 2 weeks he spent is mastering the techniques that go along with it, including them in his daily techniques. So yeah. So in 3 weeks, he's a better sage than basically anyone else in the series. So yeah. So now with this, we go on to Jiraiya spending this time as well for him to become a perfect sage, which he does eventually do, but it's very short-lived. But he does bring Naruto back to Konoha. They basically find 2 random prisoners for heinous crimes, bail them out, bring them to Konoha, then sacrifice them for reanimation jutsu. Basically, they go into the Kushina's remains of their old house, find a bit of strands of red hair that hadn't blown away yet, being pinned down under wood, pull that out, being Kushina's DNA. They find Minato's Hokage cloak that has just been collecting dust and old hair follicles. They use those, or follicles. They use 2 strands of hair, and basically revive Minato and Kushina. Then we see Naruto, and Naruto gets to know about all that he needs to from these 2. In fact, he can keep reanimation enough for a few days to help Minato have him master this jutsu. And Kushina tells Naruto about how they're left behind inside Naruto's body. Minato weaves hand seals, forcing him and Kushina out of Naruto's body. Their souls go back to these reanimations, keeping them as reanimations, but they're constant now because their souls are bound to the living realm. They're just like reanimations. The only difference is that their chakra refills as normal humans. They have the instantaneous regeneration and immortality of like reanimated people. So yeah, because Mewtwo's not in Naruto's body anymore, Kurama is now free. But they bonded over hate, and they learned to love life through Kakashi's book of ways for Shinobi to die, through Team 7, through Jiraiya, through everyone basically. So Naruto has found his way to live. Kurama found it as well. Kurama's reason for living is Naruto. He was entrusted with this kid. He wants to make sure that kid lives. So yeah. Kushina even has like a bit of Kurama's chakra. Same for like these three are all Jinchurikis at this point. Like Kushina died with a bit of chakra left in her, and that chakra was being Kurama's. Mito has half a Kurama. He doesn't need it, so he just gives it to Naruto. Kushina doesn't even need it. She had the chakra. So yeah. Because they're both able to use basic jutsu, they both just transform to look like Minato and Kushina. They just live in the outskirts of Konoha now. So and they're both pretty cool. So yeah. But Minato is given these jutsu that none of them felt possible to master. He mastered every jutsu in the scroll ceiling now. So you said Kushina did the same. And Naruto just finished his training. So yeah. Now the 2.5 years are up. And we see Naruto turn to Konoha, being a bit more kind of joyous, having smiling for once. But when he arrived, people to greet him were basically, well, Hinata basically the entire time of the Konoha 12. As he arrived, they all hug him, happy to see him again. No one knew he was in Konoha, by the way. They didn't know, besides maybe Tsunade. So yeah. But Hinata's kind of blushing, seeing Naruto again, and so is he. But Dragon smacks him back of the head, saying, "Do it, you damn idiot." Which is going to be everyone until he got Hinata and actually kissed her. So he pulled away, he's like hiding behind Jiraiya, blushing. With Hinata's height now matching Jiraiya, actually. So he's pretty big now. Hinata kind of just fainted. Like, he's standing up, but just fainted. So, yeah. But, yeah. Going on, we can go now to probably just feel like a white. We can probably Gaara. I see that mission happening, and Naruto's enraged, ready to go. So yeah, it's not on the mission. We see Sasuke telling them that they can get there within at least an hour if he goes their way, if they go his way. He just jumps down off of like a lamppost and says, "Let's go." He jumps on the Susanoo. They jump on his shoulders and they fly off. So yeah, as they fly off, they end up heading to the. To probably get there probably within at least like a few minutes, more than that. So yeah. Pause. So yeah. So they arrive there probably within a few minutes. As they arrive, Kankuro is just now being found in the desert. But Sakura would just jump down off of them, heal him, and she's a lot more of an advanced healer actually. So yeah. So Kankuro's healed faster, but they still need the plants to finalize it, which they do give her. Or give Kankuro so Chio could fix it. Chio unites with them right as they find the cave. And Naruto just made 3 shadow clones that jump down to have the seals, fight themselves as soon as they poof. Well, because they're gone, the clones are gone, or the duplicates are gone. The boulder is just there. Naruto would lift the boulder with raw strength and just basically crush it into pieces, as the boulder just falls. And basically pieces. Now this we see Sasori and Deidara trying to tear out the basically Gaara's tailed beast. They did around on not being done, only for Kakashi's Kamui to basically just tear away one of Deidara's arms. Well, Sasuke would arrive with Chidori, shoving it right through his chest, killing Deidara right then and there. Now Sakura would basically just use raw strength to punch away Sasori's puppet. As soon as he tried to use his giant parade, Naruto would jump, grabbing basically just cutting the threads. Kakashi would basically Kamui away his heart, which just kill him right then and there. So he's dead. So because Sasori is dead, well, Gaara's alive and with his one tails. Well, that chakra he did lose, Naruto does infuse a bit of chakra into Gaara, making sure he just comes back at full strength, even a bit stronger actually. So yeah. Now Kakashi does reveal that Kamui does not mean Sasori's gonna be dead. His heart is still intact. So they give Sasori the hidden sound, put him in a cell, then they give him his heart back and all that. So yeah. So with his heart being put back, they can experiment with Kakashi's eye being a portal. So yeah, and Itachi's kind of connecting the dots between Obito and Toby, or Obito and Madara, but he's not quite there yet. So man, so Naruto kind of walked in, grabbed the heart, put it in sorcery, like walked in, grabbed the heart, walked out, put it in sorcery, and he reveals the ultimate mission that he had, then is killed. So yeah, like he killed a Kage, he needs to die. So yeah. So yeah. So only mission that they need, that they got. Then Kakashi to be using Kamui and then having to use it for a long time to keep the portal open. He doesn't need a break. Not like a long one, but still a break. So Yamato's their pseudo-sensei from now on. And yeah. But Naruto just put as the team leader of Wolf Team 7 right now. And so I put the team as like a Chunin wanting to become a Jonin. So yeah. Now with this, they basically go on, find Orochimaru. Yamato's pretending to be Yamato, pretending to be Sasori, I mean. And then when Kabuto reveals like he knows it's not Yamato, he almost killed him with one strike. Naruto basically just blocked it with one hand and just tore his arm off right then and there, and says like, that's a very scary ability. Kabuto jumped back with his arm coming back immediately, and he's fully a Dragon Sage at this point. Like he's a master Dragon Sage. Kabuto and Naruto been fighting, going all out both individually. And Sasuke would jump down to go fight with Naruto, but we see Orochimaru intervene and punch Sasuke in the face, leaving him flying back. With Naruto himself now becoming a perfect Snake Sage. So Sasuke versus Orochimaru, Sakura, and Yamato, Sakura and Yamato on the side, just spectating, honestly. But Naruto would smirk, telling Kabuto that no matter what, he doesn't stand a chance, which just confused Kabuto. As Naruto looks at Sasuke, telling him, we need to do this first. Sasuke's like, what do you mean? Naruto holds up the unison sign, Sasuke would connect it, and Naruto would immediately activate his KCM 2, which would kind of signal something. Now, for what them seems like maybe 5 minutes, it's been like maybe 0.5 seconds, but they meet Hagoromo. This is a sign that shows their unison. Hagoromo warned Naruto about it. Naruto needed to feel Sasuke's emotions to confirm that he's allied with Naruto 100%. That's all you need KCM 2 for. So yeah, unison, Rinnegan, 6x8 mode for Naruto. So yeah. And Hagoromo, knowing that these two won't need like basically 100% power, he doesn't give them the seals yet. He holds on to the seals in case they do need them, but right now there's 6x8 mode for each of them. So yeah. Sasuke would turn around saying with his Rinnegan activated, he's just almighty push him and like through the valley that they're in. And Naruto just like Kabuto for punching him into Orochimaru and knocking Kabuto out that one punch. So yeah. Which does make Naruto kind of smirk for a bit at how easily they beat the two. So yeah. Because those dudes like recovering eventually, and them also escaping, Naruto ends up tracking them to their base. So yeah. So as they arrive at the base, Kakashi would arrive with them, and basically to say that he's willing to go and he's willing to fight with them. But Naruto ends up sacrificing a bit of his power for Kakashi. Naruto basically putting his hand over Kakashi's eye, giving him more chakra. In fact, giving Kakashi basically an EMS of sorts, which would surprise Kakashi. His eye doesn't really take much chakra anymore. In fact, his eye doesn't tire him. Which immediately makes him jump in the air and Kamui away the entirety of the base, besides like the roofs that you can see. We leads to a fight between Kabuto and Kakashi for a bit. But Kabuto is able to beat Kakashi, but as soon as he went in for a killing blow, Wood and Ink ends up binding down Kabuto, as then he's Kamui'd away. Then being Kamui'd away, we then have Orochimaru fighting Sasuke and Sakura, where they do both beat him. Sakura punching a hole through him, which does finalize his actual demise there. So, yeah. Then him basically being caught off guard, he has a hole punch to his heart, and he's killed by that. So, yeah. But, yeah, so Orochimaru's dead, and Kabuto's being held. So, yeah. Now, when they return to the Hidden Leaf, they do try to find, like, a Kabuto in the dimension, but they assume he just jumped off into the void and died. But someone else had kind of grabbed him, as Itachi revealed about Madara's abilities. and the possibilities of Madara's identities not being Madara, but more or less Obito. Then not just this up with a certain someone. His dad, that he had to reveal was alive. that he kind of brought back. Not to describe his existence as like a constant infinite Tsukuyomi. Not infinite reanimation jutsu, like it can't die. The only thing that's different is their chakra, that's it. But he did confirm with his suspicions about Obito and all that, Madara's Obito. So, yeah. So, yeah, we're going to go on to the next arc, being like just like basically honestly training for like Obito, who's confirmed to be on Minato's level. So, the teams that are going to fight the Akatsuki are trained heavily by Naruto, Jiraiya, Tsunade, all them. We're going to like Asuma and Shikamaru going against like Hidan and Kakuzu. Asuma and Hidan are fighting, and Hidan can't catch Asuma at all. Like Hidan's beaten into unconsciousness. Like just knock him out. I think that's how the fight should go. And Asuma does just that just by knocking out Hidan. Kakuzu tries to intervene, but two Naras, because there was another Nara canonically, plus Izumo who are a bit stronger, are able to just destroy two of Kakuzu's hearts, which makes him retreat to save his own life. Out of 5 hearts, 2 of them are destroyed, and yeah. So he retreats, leaving Hidan to be captured. But instead, Shikamaru basically tells them that they should get all they can out of him right here, which they do that. Not much information until they have another idea. Bury him alive, and they do just that. So he's buried very deep underground. Very, very deep. Now next up, probably finding Kakuzu and killing him, which was very hard. So they don't find him. But these information they got from Roshana's base, they do raid them, where they find Suigetsu, Jugo, and Karin. Karin returns to Konoha, being under Konoha's basically just jurisdiction now. But finds Naruto and Kushina, who are both living in Konoha comfortably. Kushina thinks she's dead, but her soul's now bound to the living realm. And Kushina kind of tells Karin what it's like to live as a normal Uzumaki, which he's happy to live as. And it's not not wanting to be Hokage, but she dropped out, going back to being the 4th Hokage, made for Minato. So, yeah. So, currently Konoha has 5 Hokages, but Tsunade and Minato kind of like co-rule. Like she's basically one of the elders now, at this point. So, yeah. So, yeah. But, going forward again, I'm going to go on to Jiraiya basically raiding, I'm about to talk about, by the way, he's healed by Tsunade and Shizune and Sakura. And the hidden sand. So yeah. But for Jiraiya raiding the hidden rain. With him happens to actually be Tsunade. So yeah, like she's like acts as an elder, but she's not always acting as one because she has free time. So her and Jiraiya are both raiding the hidden rain, which allows Shizune as well. And Tonton, who's a Jonin. Tonton is a Jonin. So Tonton kind of handles anyone intervening. And then Jiraiya and Tsunade both handle the path of pain. When it comes down to the Deva Path, we would just basically let out an almighty push at them both separating the oceans. Ochikonron kind of traps Tsunade. Started sending a paper, turning like a suffocator. Bryce Tsunade almost passed out. 100 healings activated. Broke the paper. Konan's defeated. And Deva Path Nagato has to fight against Jiraiya, who's now in perfect sage mode, and Tsunade, as they both basically destroy Yako's body. For Akumite crushing his head, and the raw punch from Tsunade basically incinerating his entire torso, so that's dead. So yeah, Konan's knocked out, the Deva Path is destroyed, but they do bury it. And yeah. Nagato does try to surrender, but he's killed from behind, by sharp blades running out and taken out of his head, pretty quickly actually. Jiraiya is a lot faster in terms of like mobility. So he saved them pretty easily. But they do see the person who's trying to send Rinnegan are in fact Dragon Sage Kabuto. Very scary. He vanished, and they hear that the only reason he's not there is because Madara, or Obito, dragged him out of the void. So yeah. Like he has his closer to Kamui, which is why he's basically invincible or impervious. And my Kakashi only has the long range version. So yeah. But pause. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah, so Nagato's eyes are torn out of his head, but he's alive still. Being Konoha basically just now in bed, living as a normal person. But Konoha is like his nurse and supervisor. So, yeah. Going on again, probably go forward to, like, maybe... Honestly, I don't know where to go from this. Like, he's running on a gun, but Sasuke also has a Rinnegan. Kabuto mentions this. They can't take the Rinnegan from Sasuke. It's running on versus Rinnegan warfare right now. It's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So, yeah. Now, at this point, I'd probably go on to just say, like, we can go on to basically just all-out war against Konoha now. Like, the Konoha Crush is conducted by Kakuzu, Obito, and Black Zetsu. But this basically kills Kisame from behind by stabbing him in the back with, like, a black rod to the heart. Touches on Amaterasu, but just misses. So, yeah, Kisame just dies in Tachi's arms. We just make Itachi a lot more upset. So EMS Itachi, Kakashi himself, and Sasuke go fight Obito. Minato would arrive as well. Well, actually being able to barely hit Obito, planting a seal on him again, which he doesn't even notice. It's a graze. But as soon as he tried to make him look intangible, Minato would appear in the Kami dimension, cutting off one of his hands. Obito just yell loud in pain, only for him to be caught with Amaterasu. Amaterasu fades away, but then again from the Kami realm, Minato would arrive in the Kami realm, and began stabbing Obito slashing him right as he tried to basically go intangible. Minato's just there slashing his body. But then eventually Naruto was transported to the Kami dimension with Minato by using his own flying Raijin, and decides to use a Rasengan to demolish the realm itself. He would jump in the air using Fire Monk to basically coat his Wind Rasengan in flames. At this point, him and Minato would use a combined Rasengan to basically just incinerate the Kami dimension. This Obito comes out of it, basically just scorched and burned on its back and hit the ground almost dead. He barely missed it, but kind of like a nuke. The aftershock hit him. The aftershock and heat hit his body, which didn't kill him, but he's down. So yeah. Like that's who tried to basically kill Obito or take his Rinnegan at least. But then he stopped. Then the Dragon State Kabuto went for the Rinnegan, but simply just booted away by Naruto. Then he's arrested. So yeah. So everything they want is basically settled now. Guys are worried about Kakuzu. No, he's done in seconds. When he arrived, he's dead. He's killed in seconds. Like Gabimaru and Asuma came back for their ones and killed him. So yeah. Like Team also came back for the ones and killed him. He's done completely. So yeah, Blacketsu is just honestly trapped in an endless void now. Like Kakashi, like the dimension is gone. Like unless Kakashi can find like some sort of router or like reconnection to a different dimension for Kamui, or unless the dimension regenerates. Yeah, this is now infinitely falling in a different dimension from now on. So yeah. So there is no Kaguya. In fact, when it comes to this, Kagurama just brings Naruto and Sasuke in there saying I built back on my power from a bit. You took him out, now basically both become Hagoromo through a blood exchange. So he'll give them their power, they exchange blood, both becoming Hagoromo from now on. So yeah, so Sasuke not wanting to leave behind nothing, he would train his powers for a bit until he's about 21, then leave behind a child within Sakura, then leave and basically head into space. Where he meets Toneri, beats Toneri, and these two agree to basically just live on the moon. These two live on the moon in peace, where Sasuke would use his own creation of all things to make Toneri Tenseigan, where he puts him in his head, and so decides to live in peace. So yeah. So all the puppets are now infused with Sage 6 past chakra, so when Momoshiki and Kinshiki arrive, they're pretty much beaten back to a pretty good extent. Kinshiki nearly even being killed. Then when he's in a different dimension, that's Naruto's problem. It's 100% Naruto's problem, right then and there. So yeah. Obito's just on Earth in prison with his Sharingan torn away and putting Kakashi's face, giving him because of just the one eye being infinite, and so is the other now. Well, they're both giving him a Susanoo of DMS Kakashi. He needs it only for 30 second, 1 hour intervals. Like 30 seconds for use, 1 hour to recharge for a bit. So, yeah. So when Momoshiki and Kinshiki do arrive a few years later, it's basically left up to Demas Kakashi at this point, who's just there watching to crush them both. Ginsuke actually arrived and killed and just immediately tore away Kinjiki's upper half, and he's dead. Then Moshiki has to fight against Naruto, who caught up to him and punched him in half, but then they punched him right in half. And the punch chopped him in half with just a raw, hand-to-hand technique. So yeah, he's just cut in half. We can say the way he got cut in half. Sickle. Just Sickle cut him in half right then and there. Boro, him. Boruto at this point is so strong because he not to Naruto. He is no diff to an extreme. Boruto's Haruto and Mitsuki and Kawaki are overkill at this point. Boruto alone is no diff. Jiraiya, Minato, Kushina, Hinata, Hiyashi, Neji, Hanabi. They're all around his life. Boruto is stomping everyone in his path. Minimal difficulty. Boruto's all the training he's done in his life will stomp out Kamakawaki. This one, he'll stomp out Kamakawaki easily. Boruto doesn't even have a comma mark and just stomping everyone out that he wants to. So yeah. But Boruto is just overkilled. Delta is just overkilled by Minato and Sakura, who are there. Sakura is basically his Hokage advisor at this point. Tsunade is in Konoha a lot more, and she runs the Hidden Leaf Hospital. So yeah, that's more of Shizune and Tsunade's thing. Dry is also the village gathering information and shit. He's doing his thing. So yeah. And Drabi inducing this Genjutsu Tsunade to look young. So yeah, he started using it in his older age to get women. So Dry looks back in his peak. And yeah. Going to probably like Jigen. But there is no Kashin Koji. There isn't. So yeah. Well, Boruto grows up wanting to be more like Jiraiya or Minato than his dad, but still loves his dad. Naruto's not Hokage. He isn't. He didn't want to be Hokage ever. Yeah, he kind of just in life. So yeah. So he loves his dad. Look up to him. Minato is a symbol of peace, and Jiraiya is a symbol of pride. He wants to be one of those two. Naruto is a symbol of badassery. Boruto wants to be all three of those things. Sasuke is unknown. He is just in orbit fighting off Otsutsuki. When it comes to Jigen, though, that's when he arrives, ready to run fades. Naruto and Sasuke both are pretty much easily just stomp any amount of duos in the Hidden Leaf between Naruto and someone else probably stomp out Ishiki or Jigen himself. Naruto and Sasuke pretty much just force him into Ishiki, where they just seal him away in a different dimension. They end up going into a different dimension, and then Shibaku Tensei, and he's done. So yeah. Naruto and Sasuke basically mastering six abilities and other powers. They're basically new Otsutsuki gods. Boruto being a new one that's going to be born soon. Plus they have Ishiki's 10 tails. Yeah, they don't know what to do with that thing. So what I'm going to do to make sure that they're insured Otsutsuki gods. Plus Boruto's there. And, well, he's prophesized to basically bring apart a certain future according to Toneri. They end up splitting apart the 10 tails in certain basically the three sections of power. Naruto inherits one, Sasuke inherits the other, Boruto inherits one. Where now he's basically an Otsutsuki god. So Boruto himself will basically have a kind of joke on it anytime he wants to. Naruto and Sasuke are basically just complete demons in terms of all-around power now. So, yeah. Code, Ida, doesn't matter. They don't have a chance. Naruto's so much chakra he can deflect Ada's charm. Kawaki is just there in Konoha. And he's basically Jiraiya's adopted son. That's what he is now. He's Jiraiya's son. So Kawaki's someone's son. He looks up to that one guy, so it doesn't matter. So Kawaki's out of the village. Ada's charm can be deflected. Genjutsu, chakra, power. Yeah. Well, simply put, Naruto doesn't want to hit anyone. He just says, "Oh, you deflect harm. Okay, I don't harm you." Bitch slap, and he's done. That's how he beats Daemon. So yeah, Code is honestly just pretty easily and just no different by Sasuke, who steals him away in the same dimension as Ishiki, or in a different dimension. So yeah, Boruto is no threat at all. It's a pretty easy arc, or pretty easy story. So yeah. This is a motto just basically wishes help wants his daughter back, and they get his daughter back. So yeah, that's Boruto in a nutshell. Sorry if I talk so Boruto in a nutshell. Sorry if I talk too fast. This is the first video I've tried to do without getting bored. and I loved it. So I was excited the entire time. I talked too fast. I'm sorry, but still, I'm excited. I love the video. Hope you guys loved it as well. If you can understand me, I recommend at least 0.75 speed maximum or minimum. The maximum that I want for slow down speed is 0.75. Don't listen to some normal audio. By the way, hope you guys enjoyed. Adios.